Hi, I'm John Bunday, notorious YouTuber, and you are watching Ollie, aka 8-Bit Boy UK. Content warning is advised. If you watch Ollie's content, then you may find yourself purchasing Master System games that you had no intention of ever picking up. Because he will make you want to play these games and then you will want to go and buy them. You have been warned.
Guys, welcome back to the channel. And yeah, I thought I'd do a little video on 2024. I also was just going to show off super quick what I got for Christmas, gaming related stuff. So I got this, which I love. I'm a big Only Fools and Horses fan, and it's even sponsored by Peckham Springs. So yeah, my missus got me this. Absolutely love it. It's got 81 on the back, which was the year that the show first aired as well. So yeah, absolutely love this. The Nags Head Football Club, brilliant. But I also got the new Spectrum. You can see there, show you a bit closer. So I think people have probably seen what this is. They probably know what it is and whatnot. But yeah, so I've not opened it yet, but I will. It looks like it's got some pretty cool games on there. And gaming wise, a couple of other like little bits and pieces, but yeah, that's sort of it really. So I was going to go into, I've written a bit of a list on that, just a little bit of detail in terms of going into breaking down 2024 and what I'd kind of set out a handful of games that I wanted to try to finish. And I didn't finish all of them, but I finished a few. And I'll go through, you know, sort of everything in as much detail. So one of the big differences this year was the back end of last year, I joined the 52 game completion group, Club 52. And it's a WhatsApp group where the goal, if it's not obvious, is to try to complete 52 games in a year. I actually, as I'm sat here now, I've actually completed 30. I may potentially get an alternative ending to Blasphemous 2, which I'm playing at the minute, the DLC, which gives you an alternative ending. So that would be 31, which again is a brilliant year, more than I did last year. I think I did 20 something last year, so quite pleased with that. But to go through what my goals were, so I'd set out to try to complete RoboCop on the PS5, The Last Faith, Demon's Souls, not Demon's Souls, sorry, Dark Souls, Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3, as I got them last Christmas in like a triple pack thing, Sekiro, Baldur's Gate 3, Hollow Knight, Resident Evil 3 Remake, and Resident Evil 8. So they were sort of the 10 that I'd set out to try to do. And I didn't manage to finish all of them. I don't think I didn't even start Sekiro, Baldur's Gate, Hollow Knight, Resident Evil 3, or Resident Evil 8. And I also didn't start Dark Souls 3. But I did finish the first and second one. I also finished The Last Faith, which was absolutely brilliant. A game that I actually backed on Kickstarter as well, so it was quite cool seeing my name in the credits. That was all the way back in January I finished that one. And RoboCop, the new RoboCop game. I mean, it's not new now, it's about a year old now. But yeah, I got that last Christmas. I didn't manage to finish it. It was quite glitchy and quite buggy, I found. I started off playing it, I thought, oh, I can live with it, and I thought, do you know what, no, I'll wait for a patch and I'll just go back to it. And I never did, and I wish I had, but I'm sure it must have got patched now. Just in the cutscenes, every cutscene seemed to be really buggy and glitchy. So I'm going to go back to that one in 2025 for sure. So yeah, what I did manage to get complete, so I did manage to finish, like I say, The Last Faith, Dark Souls Remastered, and Dark Souls 2. The Scholar of the First Sin, is that the version I think they call it? That was the version that was bundled with it, which I think includes DLC. So yeah, when I finished Dark Souls as well, I did the DLC with that one, and I had a lot of fun with it. The last boss fight in the DLC, I'm trying to remember, that begins with M. I can't remember it, but the boss was absolutely epic, just brilliant fun. Off my long-term uncompleted list, if you will, I've got a list of probably about a dozen games that I never finished back in like years ago, and I managed to knock 2 off that list as well. So I managed to finish Metal Gear Solid 2, which I pre-ordered back in the day, got it day one, and just, you know, didn't get very far. I was about, how old would I have been? 20, 21 maybe? And I just had a job, I was too busy. So I managed to finish that just this month actually. And yeah, it was great. I also managed to finish Metal Gear Solid 1 and got the alternative ending to the ending I got back in 1998 or whenever it was. So yeah, that was quite cool. And then the other game that I managed to finish this year for the first time was Wonder Boy 3. I played the remake version, which I think Omar had a little hand in developing. Might have been a major hand in developing, to be fair. So yeah, I managed to complete Wonder Boy 3, and you could actually, I think you press the bumper button and it would go back into, what would it do? It would go back into retro mode, or what they called, so you could play it like the Master System version basically. So yeah, so I've got, just to show you guys, so I've got, yeah, there's a copy of RoboCop Rogue City, that's the full name. Cracking little game. First person view, which, you know, it's not for everybody, it's not my preferred way to play a game, but it is what it is. So I will go back to it, I think. I'll tell you what else I got actually this year. I got this Japanese version of the Nintendo World Championships, and the Jap version comes with the Famicom controllers, which work. So I played that quite a bit as well. I also managed to complete in this Super Mario Brothers for the first time. I know people have speed ran it in 5 minutes and stuff. You know, that's not really what I'm not that bothered about that. I'm just glad that I finished it. But yeah, that's a great little addition to have in the collection. So yeah, so I think, let me just catch up. What am I doing? Right, okay, so goals for 2025. I'll talk in a little bit more detail. So I want to go back, I think the next big game I want to play is going to be Dark Souls 3 to finish off that trilogy. I've heard so much good stuff about Dark Souls 3, and it'd be daft not to, considering I've really enjoyed the first two. So yeah, that'll be the first sort of major one of next year that I try and play through, attempt. The other one will be Sekiro. Whether I finish or not, I don't know. I'm a bit wary, I guess. A lot of people have said it's really tough and it's very different to a lot of the other sort of Soulsborne games, but I'm going to give it a try and see how I get on with it. Do like a challenge. Hollow Knight. So I've got my copy here. I actually got this for Christmas last year. Again, I think I got that off my mum, and it's still sealed. I've just not had the time. I did start on the Switch, but I really like playing on a PlayStation. Something about unlocking trophies that I really enjoy. So I'm gonna open this bad boy up at some point next year. Hopefully, that's a goal, and try and get that one done as well. Half-Life. So that's off my long-term uncompleted list. Again, one that I owned back in the day. I had the big box, orange box. I don't have that anymore, sadly, but Ross, my buddy Ross, sent me a copy along with a load of other PC games earlier this year, so I do have a disc version, and I'd just like to try to get somewhere where at least I've given it another crack at least. But yeah, if we can complete it, then great. Already mentioned RoboCop. I'm going to come back to to RoboCop. And then the other big thing I want to try to attempt this year, as being part of Club 52, I'd like to really try and complete 52 games. So what I've done, I've converted that old laptop that I found lying around at work. I've managed to convert that with a like MAME on there, and I've put on not thousands. I've not just like, you know, downloaded a pack of MAME ROMs or whatever, and there's like, you know, 15,000 on there. I've been quite careful. I've watched quite a lot of YouTube recommendations, and I've downloaded 55 different games. A lot of them are shmups, like Batsugun. I'd seen a video with James, Sweet Radish Games. He had done a video on that one, so I thought, yeah, Batsugun, I definitely fancy giving that a go. So games a bit like that. There's a few other things in there, like Metal Slug. I'd seen, again, James and John Bunday had done a video or a podcast I'd listened to in the car on Metal Slug. So it's got all of them on there as well. So yeah, I'll be playing and doing my best to do one a week if I can. Okay, so on to my games of the year. So I've kind of done a top 5. So bear with me. These are modern, and then I've also got a top 3 Master System games of the year as well, and I'll go through those in a second. So 5th in my Game of the Year countdown is Doom, and that's the original Doom. I do have a copy of the Slayers edition here with the alternative box art. I'll hold it a bit closer because I really like the art, and you've got the back there, which is really cool. And I finished the 3 episodes. There is a 4th episode they did years later. My God, it is very different and really tough. So it's called Inferno, I think, the 4th episode they did. But look, I got the credits to roll. I did the 3 episodes of the main game. I'm more than happy with that. Not really bothered about DLC and all that sort of stuff on it. I did enjoy it, but when it gets to the point where I can't even get off the first little bit, then I draw the line. Yeah, really enjoyed that. So that's number 5 in my Game of the Year for 2025. So number 4 is Dark Souls 2. Really enjoyed Dark Souls 2. Not quite as divisive as what I think people made out. Medulla was definitely my favourite area. Just the music's absolutely brilliant, and it's because the game is so crazy and so vast, it's really nice to come back to a central hub area that the Dark Souls sort of games are famous for, really. You've got the Hunter's Dream as well in Bloodborne, and yeah, the music in it's just really cool. If you don't know it, if you've not played the game, then do give it a go. It is kind of the black sheep of the Dark Souls family, but, you know, I still enjoyed it a lot. So, number 3 in my Game of the Year for 2025 is The Last Faith. And I did technically start the game in 2023, but I don't even see that this is my physical copy that only got sent this year. So they did make it's called the Nycrux edition. Nycrux are, I think, the currency in the game from what I remember. It was all the way back in January when I finished it. But this is the first and only game I've ever backed, and my name is in the credits. So just super happy to have backed a game that's absolutely amazing. It's a properly good game, very similar to Blasphemous. I guess if Castlevania and Bloodborne had a baby, that's what you'd get. Yeah, it was just really, really brilliant game, and I managed to finish it as well. So yeah, really pleased with that. So right, top 2 now. So in second place, this was so difficult to decide because I enjoyed this game so much, and it nearly got my number 1 spot, so nearly. But then I had a rethink, and I thought, you know what? Whilst it is good and it is a a properly good 8 out of 10. It's not a 9 out of 10, which the winner, you know, has got. Probably even a 10, to be honest. Anyway, come on to the winner in a sec. So in second place, and it was so difficult, is Dark Souls Remastered. So this is my Switch copy, only because I've had a tidy up. My PlayStation copy is packed away, so it's on a shelf somewhere. That trilogy that I mentioned that the wife got me again last Christmas. But yeah, it was so good that I immediately went out, bought the Switch version and started playing it again straight away as well. So absolutely loved it. On the Switch, it plays really, really well as well. Stupidly well, in fact, on the Switch. I can't believe how well it plays. But yeah, I played it on the PS5 and I did a video about it, about my thoughts on it, and it's probably up there with Bloodborne for me. Absolutely loved it. Go and check out my video if you want to find out a bit more about my thoughts on this game. But yeah, properly good. The level design and the map design is phenomenal. All of the boss fights are brilliant. Just a fantastic game. It's not perfection. It's not without its faults. But you know, I can look past those. I really loved it. Really enjoyed it. And then my game of the year for 2024 is this one. So this is my big box version of Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree. Yes, it's DLC, I'm aware of that, but it is its own game. It's certainly large enough. It's got a properly big map. Like they called it like Elden Ring 1.5. It was so big. It is almost like an Elden Ring 2. So yeah, just amazing. It was just as good as Elden Ring. Extremely difficult. It's got its own leveling system, so you, regardless of what level you start the DLC at, you're basically a young baby crawling around, stumbling around in the dark. Doesn't hold your hand, and yeah, it took me a lot of hours. I've now got total in Elden Ring 297 hours. So, and I may go back and do another playthrough of the main game. It's that much fun. So yeah, 297 hours across the main game and the DLC. How can it not be my favourite game of the year and my game, favourite game of 2024 and my game of the year? Just brilliant. So yeah, so that's they are my 5 top games of the year. Now I did mention just briefly I'd cover Master System as well, just so you guys have got an idea of. I've been playing quite a lot of Master System games. I did a Halloween stream, so I've got an honourable mentions. Oh, before I do Master System, sorry, I've got honourable mentions for other stuff as well. So just quickly, my honourable mentions. So what gave me the motivation to look into adding MAME onto my laptop was Retro Red Steve did a Tubers challenge, World Cup challenge for Metal Black, and I played that all the way through. But that probably taught me so much about how to get these games to run. I'm just forcing myself to learn. So much fun. But that game was amazing as well. If you've not played Metal Black on the arcade, then definitely do. Brilliant. The other honourable mentions were Golden Axe, that I completed in Blackpool with Steve again in person. Just amazing. And yeah, just really enjoyed playing with a mate. It's just brilliant. So yeah, and finishing the game was just great. I'd never finished it before. Brilliant game. And then my other third kind of joint honourable mention. So a few weeks ago I met up with Clint, Phil, Pedder, a whole bunch of other guys, just loads of guys. We all kind of went to Arcade Club in Bury, and we kind of all finished Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles and The Simpsons, which were both kind of beat 'em ups that I played as a kid in the arcades. Never thought I'd go back and complete them, and to finish them with the lads, with 4 of us playing, was just brilliant. My lad got involved on Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, I think, as well for a bit. So, but then he got bored and played something else. So yeah, I think it was just three of us finished that one off. But yeah, just brilliant. So those are my honourable mentions for other games that I finished off and played this week. So yeah, so sorry. On to the Master System, just briefly. So in number 3, sorry, start again. Master System. Honourable mention, I did a Halloween stream of Ghouls and Ghosts and finished that one. Took about 2 and a bit hours. So it took ages. Got to play it through twice. And thank you ever so much to everybody who joined me on the stream and in the chat, even if you were working, because I know it was like on a Wednesday or a Thursday or something. So even if you dropped in and just said hello, sorry I'm at work, but hello, then thank you very much. Okay, so finally, Master System Games of the Year. So in 3rd place is Sonic the Hedgehog. Again, I think I've probably called this one out previously, but I did manage to complete it. Absolutely phenomenal game. I love Sonic so much, I really do, and managed to finish it again this year. Number 2 is Pit Pot. We're playing that at the moment, of course, as part of the Master System Challenge. I've played that so much over Christmas, and one of the reasons is really addictive, and I've just grown to absolutely love it. So Pit Pot in number 2, absolutely brilliant. If you want to get involved, super quick shout to the Master System Challenge. Have a go on Pit Pot, do a video, or just post a photograph of your score on Twitter and just hashtag it up with hashtag Master System Challenge underneath. We'll find you, we'll get you added to the scoreboard, the leaderboard. And then finally, we've got James Buster Douglas Boxing in number 1 for my game of the year. It was the game that I completed and set a new world record for on the Master System. Just a bit different, quite cool, I guess, having a world record for the system that I love so much. So yeah, James Buster Douglas Boxing in number 1 spot for my Master System Game of the Year. Guys, that is enough of me waffling. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Have an absolutely amazing new year, and I'll continue with the videos and all that good stuff in 2025. Thank you so much. All the best.